He put stores in this community so that folks in the neighborhood can have jobs. So folks in the neighborhood could learn how to be entrepreneurs and leaders. And that is exactly who Nipsey Hussle was.
Get that gift either, but she looked good, huh?
Man, tell her again. Tell her again.
Right? No, it's your turn. You have to do it.
Telling her all week. She been making me look better, you know?
The glitzy world of fame and fortune often disguises a much darker underbelly, and the unfolding drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs has started to pull back the curtain on what some are calling the entertainment industry's most explosive scandal yet. If you thought the world of music moguls was all about chart-topping hits and lavish parties, think again. Allegations, secret tapes, and whispered connections are now painting a very different picture, one filled with power plays, betrayal, and shadowy dealings that could shake the entire celebrity ecosystem to its core. And in the middle of this storm, names like Lauren London and Nipsey Hussle have surfaced in ways that no one could have predicted.
We have lost someone who has inspired others, who have came from the ground all the way to the top.
What started as a trial focused on Diddy's alleged misconduct has spiraled into a web of connections that seems almost too wild to believe. It's not just about Diddy anymore. It's about the people he surrounded himself with, the ones who stood by him, and the ones who may have been caught in the crossfire. And no name has sparked more intrigue than that of Lauren London. From her public image as a grieving partner to Nipsey Hussle to her alleged ties with powerful industry insiders, her role in this saga has become the subject of rampant speculation.
Never was I prepared for anything like this, so bear with me, y'all. I'm gonna, Ermias was asleep one morning and I was watching him because I used to love to just watch him sleep. And I wrote him a text while he was sleeping so that when he woke up.
The whispers began during the jury selection for Diddy's trial, where jurors were asked about their familiarity with a list of A-listers, including Ye, Cassie, and Lauren London. At first glance, London's inclusion seemed out of place. She's never been known for controversy, at least not publicly. But as the trial unfolded, her name kept coming up, and not in ways anyone expected. Internet sleuths and fans alike began connecting dots, resurfacing old interviews, photos, and anecdotes that cast her relationship with Nipsey Hussle in a new, unsettling light.
Feels like to be here at the Grammys tonight.
Man, just excited, you know, inspired to keep making music. You know what I mean? It's my first album. I've been saying that all day. So to be nominated on my debut, that means a lot, you know?
That means stay in the business is what that means. I know as artists, we doubt ourselves a lot, but it's nice to have this validation.
Yeah, and like, you know, we try not to let awards and accolades validate us, but it's nice to be acknowledged.
Nipsey Hussle, the beloved rapper and community leader, was gunned down in broad daylight in 2019, a tragedy that shocked the world. Officially, his death was pinned on Eric Holder, a man allegedly angered by a personal dispute. But for years, conspiracy theories have swirled about a larger plot, with whispers of powerful figures behind the scenes pulling strings. And now, with Diddy's trial shining a spotlight on Hollywood's underbelly, those theories are gaining traction. Some are even suggesting that Nipsey's rise as an independent, self-made artist posed a threat to the industry's gatekeepers. Among them, Diddy himself.
Look at Diddy, for instance. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at him. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at, he has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much, but what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war going on.
But here's where things get murkier. Lauren London was the one who introduced Nipsey to Diddy. By her own admission, they first met through her at a birthday party for Cassie. At the time, it seemed like an innocent connection, but now fans and insiders are questioning whether there was more to it. Was Lauren merely a bridge between two powerful figures, or was she something else entirely? And why did their relationship with Diddy seem to grow stronger just as Nipsey's career began to soar? Adding fuel to the fire are the resurfaced comments Lauren made in an interview shortly after Nipsey's passing. She revealed that Diddy had been a source of comfort during her grief, even quoting him as saying, "Now show them what it looks like when it all crumbles." To some, this was a benign statement of support, but to others it sounded like something more calculated, as if Diddy was encouraging her to play a specific role in the aftermath of Nipsey's death. And then there's the detail that has people's heads spinning. Diddy reportedly called her Boo, the same nickname Nipsey used for her. Was this a slip of the tongue or something more telling?
I just want you to know that you've been the greatest boyfriend to me. You aren't perfect, but I would never ask you to be. You and I work, we fit, and you're the coolest guy in the world to me, still. I love you so much unconditionally. My truth is this: I'm never gonna give up on you. My love and my devotion is to you.
And the oddities don't stop there. In a separate interview, Lauren admitted to attending a seminar about loss and grieving years before Nipsey's passing. At the time, she brushed it off as a coincidence, describing it as a spiritual experience. But fans couldn't help but wonder, why would someone so young and vibrant feel compelled to learn about loss unless they had a reason to? Was it truly a coincidence, or was it preparation for something she knew was coming? These are the kinds of questions that are now dominating forums, comment sections, and social media threads. Then there's the matter of Diddy's parties, infamous for their exclusivity and secrecy. Over the years, these gatherings have become the stuff of legend, with rumors of hidden cameras and unknowing guests being recorded. According to insiders, some of these tapes have begun to surface, showing celebrities in compromising situations. And while no footage involving Lauren has been confirmed, the mere possibility has sent shockwaves through the industry. Could these tapes hold answers to the questions surrounding Nipsey's death? And if so, who would benefit from keeping them hidden?
As a member of the Crenshaw community for over 30 years and a stakeholder, someone who knew Nipsey Hussle, I'm here to say that his has had a devastating and tremendous impact still to this day on our community. Not only was Nipsey a Grammy award-winning hip-hop artist, he was much more than that.
What's even more chilling is the timing. As Nipsey's career reached new heights with the release of his critically acclaimed album Victory Lap, Diddy became more involved in his professional life. On the surface, it seemed like a mentorship, a seasoned mogul guiding a younger artist. But now, some are questioning whether it was something else entirely. Nipsey reportedly wanted Victory Lap to echo the legacy of Biggie's Life After Death, an album that also marked the end of an era for another young artist taken too soon. Was Nipsey's request an unfortunate parallel, or was it a harbinger of what was to come?
No words were exchanged? Or?
No words exchanged. Nip always humble. Nip, Nip, like I said, was signing autographs. Nip was being Nipsey.
Where were you when this happened?
I was with Nip prior to the guy. The guy was in the parking lot running around getting his food or whatever it may be. If you look at the tapes, I had my food in my hand the whole time.
Diddy's former bodyguard, who has been vocal about the darker side of the entertainment industry, recently claimed that Nipsey's involvement with Diddy was his biggest mistake. According to him, once Diddy entered the picture, Nipsey's life became more complicated, his movements more restricted, and then there's the allegation that someone close to Nipsey was feeding information to Diddy. Someone who had his trust. Could that person have been Lauren? It's a question that no one wants to ask outright, but many are thinking it. Old photos have also resurfaced, showing Lauren and Diddy looking far too comfortable at various events, often with Nipsey in the background. To some, these images are harmless snapshots of a tight-knit circle, but to others, they're evidence of a deeper, more sinister connection. And the speculation doesn't end there. Fans have pointed out that Lauren's grief in the wake of Nipsey's demise seemed subdued compared to the outpouring of emotion from his fans and peers. Was this simply her way of coping, or was there something she wasn't telling us?
That he has, with others, and just because no one else has been charged, which normally in a RICO case you would have others charged. It was a statute designed to get mob bosses, trying to get at criminal behavior that's like a web of criminal behavior that you can't necessarily prove, like the one thing or the statute of limitations expired on the other thing, but you're just showing this bad guy who's operating what's clearly an enterprise that over and over engages in criminal problems or criminal acts.
As Diddy's trial continues, the focus is shifting from the man himself to the intricate web of relationships he's built over the years. And Lauren, whether she intended to or not, has found herself at the center of it. Her testimony, or lack thereof, could either clear her name or raise even more questions about her role in this unfolding drama. And with the alleged tapes still looming in the background, the stakes have never been higher. What secrets do they hold, and will they ever see the light of day? The answers may change everything we thought we knew about Nipsey, Lauren, and the industry they were a part of.
Because we now know who all the prosecutors will be on Diddy's trial. They're all women. They have assembled a team of female prosecutors, and that is definitely not by accident.
And just when it seemed like the threads of this tangled web couldn't stretch any thinner, the connections start to tighten in ways that are as chilling as they are bizarre. The alleged influence Diddy wielded over Nipsey's career is just the tip of the iceberg. What really has people talking is the suggestion that his reach extended beyond business into something far more personal and potentially far more dangerous. Some believe that Diddy didn't just see Nipsey as a threat to the industry's status quo, but as a pawn in a larger game, one that required careful manipulation, calculated moves, and ultimately the elimination of obstacles. And that's where Lauren's role becomes harder to ignore.
He breathing the whole time, had a pulse, in and out of consciousness, but he fought hard. I could just see it in his eyes. He was fighting the whole time. He fought hard up until he went to the hospital. He was still breathing and he was doing good. Like I said, he fought hard.
Let's be clear. Lauren London's public image has always been one of grace and poise, the picture of resilience in the face of tragedy. But behind the scenes, whispers have emerged that tell a different story, one of loyalty questioned and motives dissected. It's no secret that Lauren was deeply connected to some of the most powerful figures in the entertainment world. Her ties to Diddy predate her relationship with Nipsey, and while that in itself isn't unusual, it does raise eyebrows when you consider how closely their lives and careers began to intertwine after she introduced the two men. Coincidence? Maybe. But in a world where power dynamics rule, nothing is ever just coincidence. And then there are the rumors about Lauren's alleged influence over Nipsey's decisions, particularly in the months leading up to his untimely demise. According to insiders, she was not just a supportive partner, but a key player in certain business negotiations that brought Nipsey closer to industry heavyweights like Diddy. Some sources claim that her input helped shape the direction of Nipsey's career, steering him toward collaborations and deals that seemed lucrative on the surface, but may have come with hidden strings attached. And those strings? They lead straight back to Diddy's empire, a place where favors are rarely free, and alliances often come at a cost. What's more, there's the curious timing of events that unfolded in the wake of Nipsey's passing. Many have pointed out that Lauren's career seemed to gain a newfound moment during this period, with high-profile projects and endorsements that positioned her as a force in her own right. Of course, there's nothing wrong with a woman stepping into her power. But when you juxtapose that rise with the whispers of her involvement in Diddy's inner circle, the narrative takes a darker turn. Was this a case of a woman reclaiming her agency, or was it something more calculated? A carefully orchestrated pivot designed to distract from questions no one was ready to answer.
The judge is hopeful that that could be concluded as soon as Wednesday, with opening statements in the case beginning next week, and then the beginning of the evidence. So Combs has pleaded not guilty. He has said, his lawyers have said, that all of these allegations are the prosecutors trying to criminalize his sexual activity that they say was entirely consensual.
And let's not forget the resurfaced photos and videos that seem to place Lauren at the center of key moments in both Nipsey and Diddy's lives. One image in particular has ignited a firestorm online. A candid shot of Lauren and Diddy sharing a laugh at a private gathering with Nipsey standing just a few feet away looking on. At first glance, it's an innocuous moment, but when viewed through the lens of recent allegations, it starts to feel like something more. A snapshot of a dynamic that may have been far more complex than anyone realized.
I'm not sure. I don't buy for a minute that he's going to prison without getting out of here somewhere and stashing $2 billion or whatever. I think he has that kind of power, meaning Sean himself. But remember, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Adding fuel to the fire are claims from individuals who were allegedly close to both Nipsey and Lauren. One former associate, speaking on condition of anonymity, has suggested that Lauren's relationship with Diddy was an open secret within certain circles. According to this source, their bond was characterized by a level of familiarity that went beyond professional respect, raising questions about where her true loyalties lay. And while these claims remain unverified, they've been enough to send fans into a frenzy, with many demanding answers that, so far, have been met with silence. Meanwhile, Diddy's current legal troubles are only adding more fuel to the fire as the public begins to connect the dots between his alleged behavior and the web of controversies surrounding him. Just weeks before this trial began, another lawsuit against Diddy grabbed headlines. This one filed by a former employee who alleges that the mogul fostered a workplace environment built on fear, secrecy, and manipulation. The plaintiff claims that during their time with Diddy's business empire, they were coerced into covering for his alleged misconduct while being threatened with career-ending consequences if they stepped out of line. This isn't just a lawsuit about a hostile work environment. It's a broader indictment of a system where power appears to have been weaponized for personal gain.
You know, I suppose it could be coincidence. I don't think it's coincidence, and especially given the nature of the case.
Yes.
Because when you look at who is examining these various witnesses, you know, especially female alleged victims, of which there will be 4.
And then there's the looming specter of his recent arrest, which has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Details are still emerging, but what's clear is that the charges against him go far beyond what anyone initially imagined. Prosecutors allege that Diddy's empire wasn't just a business powerhouse, but a tightly controlled network designed to shield him from accountability. The charges include a laundry list of violations from obstruction to alleged trafficking, and if even a fraction of them are proven true, the fallout could be catastrophic. Not just for Diddy, but for everyone in his orbit. And as the trial unfolds, observers can't help but wonder, who else knew, and how far does this go? What's even more shocking is the claim that Diddy's alleged activities were not isolated incidents, but part of a well-established pattern stretching back years. Multiple individuals have come forward with stories that echo the same troubling themes: accounts of coercion, betrayal, and an almost obsessive need for control. These stories aren't just about Diddy, they paint a broader picture of an industry that thrives on silence and complicity. For the first time, the curtain is being pulled back on how power operates behind the scenes, and it's not a pretty sight. The question now is whether this trial will be a turning point or just another chapter in a story that keeps repeating itself.
So Diddy, after the Cassie lawsuit, gets hit with a bunch of lawsuits, and then ultimately the raids, and then this.
And then there are the tapes. The mysterious recordings that have been the subject of so much speculation. While no one knows for certain what's on them, the mere suggestion that they exist has been enough to cast a long shadow over everyone involved. Some have speculated that these tapes could hold the key to understanding the dynamics at play, offering a glimpse into a world of power, privilege, and secrets that few are privy to. If such recordings do exist, they could either exonerate Lauren or implicate her in ways that would be impossible to come back from.
Same thing for Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the interesting thing about the Epstein and the theory about Epstein is we know he filmed people for sure on that island. He has a lot of movies, a lot of films of people that are very, very powerful political figures, and entertainers, business people. So, do you really believe that Jeffrey Epstein himself? Of
course not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But perhaps the most damning piece of this puzzle is the timeline itself. When you map out the events leading up to Nipsey's passing, a pattern begins to emerge. One that suggests a level of coordination that's hard to ignore. From the sudden shifts in his career trajectory to the cryptic comments made by those closest to him, it's clear that there's more to this story than meets the eye. And as the trial continues to unfold, the stakes couldn't be higher. For Lauren, for Diddy, and for everyone else whose names have been dragged into the spotlight, the question is no longer whether the truth will come out. It's how much damage it will do when it does.
Unfortunately, we're all going to take a disgusting trip to his seedy, awful world. You know, the man has no class. He has no kindness in his dark, dark heart. And he's depraved. That's my opinion. This is a depraved, disgusting individual about whom I wish to hear nothing after this trial is done.
So, what are we left with? A series of unanswered questions, a web of connections that seem almost too intricate to untangle, and a growing sense that the story we've been told is only scratching the surface. Was Nipsey's rise to fame a threat to an industry that thrives on control? Was Lauren a pawn, a player, or something in between? And what, if anything, do those alleged tapes reveal about the events that have brought us to this moment? Let us know what you think down below, and we'll see you in the next one.